Let's take a look at graphing systems of inequalities. Whenever we're graphing a system, we need to make sure that our y value is by itself. So I'm going to take my first inequality and I'm going to solve it for y. I'm going to do that by dividing everything by -2. Now, remember that when you divide by a negative, your inequality symbol is going to flip directions. So now I'm going to have y is greater than -3 over 2x minus 6. Be really careful with your signs here, and if you need, verify them by using the calculator to check. My second example is already in the correct form, and it says x is greater than or equal to -3. So let's take a look at actually graphing these below. So I want to graph my first inequality, which is going to start at -6. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put a dot to start. And then I'm going to follow my negative slope, which is down 3 to the right 2. And now I have to go in the other direction. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 2. And I'm going to continue that pattern for as many spots as I can on this graph. Okay? And so what you want to do then is take your straight edge and you want to double check, and you see that this is a symbol that is going to have a dotted line when you connect them, not a solid line when you connect them. So be as accurate as you can when you're connecting your dots with that dotted line. Make sure we put an arrow at the end. We are going to label it with our original equation, or inequality, excuse me, which is -2y is less than 3x plus 12. I prefer to do my shading at the end, so I'm going to graph my other line first and then I will shade. X is greater than or equal to -3 means I have to go to -3 on the x-axis and draw a solid line that is going through this point vertically. Remember, anytime that you have an x equals graph, it's going through the x-axis. So now that both of my lines have been graphed, I'm going to go back and shade. The first one, when you got it into its correct form, has the greater than symbol. So I am going to shade where the y values are greater than where my y-intercept started. Okay, so all of these are where the y values are greater. I'm shading above the line. Now, for your x inequality, it says x is greater than or equal to. Well, all of these values are where x is greater than or equal to -3. Okay, and we're going to do this for the entire way down your graph. So as you can see, it is in this section, and you don't need to highlight yourself, but I'm going to just highlight to show you that everywhere in this section here is where our solution set is. And so we're going to put an S for a solution set inside of that, because it tells us label the solution set S. And then I'm going to scroll down a little more and answer the question that says, Allison thinks 2 - 9 is a solution to this system. Determine if Allison is correct. Justify your answer. So I'm going to find the point 2 - 9 and plot it. So I go to the right 2 and I'm going to go down -9, and that ends up being right here. Okay, so I'm kind of pointing that out for you to see. Is that a solution to this system? Well, hopefully you know that the answer is no, this is not a solution. And let's think about why. 2 - 9 is not a solution since it is a point where? On the dotted line. Okay, since it's a point on a dotted line. And so because it's on a dotted line, that means it's not included in the solution. Therefore, the answer is no. Okay, let's take a look at one more example of solving this system of inequalities. So my first inequality is in the correct format. So this is all good, ready to go. My second one needs a little bit of work. So let's set this up and organize it so it's ready. I'm going to move the x to the other side, and I've got 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 6. I'm going to divide everything by 2, and I have y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, so in this case, we are not switching the symbol because we did not divide by a negative. Okay, let's get right into our graphing. So my first one, I'm going to start at negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, because my m is 3 over 1 and my b is negative 4. I'm beginning my line at negative 4, and then let's follow our pattern of rise 3, run 1. Up 3, to the right 1, and we continue that for as long as will fit on our graph. Now I'm going to continue in the other direction, and those are as many points as I can put. You look back at the symbol and you see that it is just the greater than symbol. Therefore, it's going to be a dotted line. When I connect all of these, it is dotted. So do your best to make a nice dotted line. Put an arrow at the end, and we are going to label it with the original equation, which is y is greater than 3x minus 4. I'm now going to take my other line. I've got an m value of negative 1 over 2 and a b value of 3. So I'm going to begin my line at 3 and follow my pattern down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, and do that as many times as possible. Now going in the other direction, up 1 to the left 2. You want to fill up your graph as far as you can go. This is going to be a solid line because you have that symbol that has the line underneath it. Make sure you're using a straight edge when you do this. Okay, I'm going to be putting my arrows, and I'm going to label with the original equation. Y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 3. Now that both of my lines have been graphed, let's get shading. My first one said y is greater than, so I want to shade where the y values are greater than the y-intercept. So that is going to be above the line. Next one says less than or equal to, so I'm going to shade where my y values are less than where this y-intercept was located. As you can see, your solution set is going to be anything in this area where I'm highlighting, and we're going to put an S in your solution set. And then we need to answer the question, is the point 2, 2 a solution to this system? And so when we look and locate 2, 2, that's here. But since it's on a dotted line, it is not part of the solution. So we are going to say no, because 2, 2 lies on a dotted line. So it is not part of the solution. Okay, and so it's as simple as that. Make sure that you are shading in the correct direction. Make sure, if you want to double check what those lines look like, to make sure you did the slopes in the right way. And just double check that when you're looking for a solution, if it is on a dotted line, it is not part of the solution set.